Hey guys, good morning. It was great seeing you all yesterday. I hope you enjoyed the class. I know some of you left feeling a little overwhelmed. I talked to the Houston students when we had pizza yesterday, and everyone seemed good, but they were like, oh, this is going to be a lot of assignments. And it's true. It is a lot of assignments. Just so you know, the assignments are intentional. I used to do fewer assignments, and there was like, for example, turn all your evidence tables in at one time. And what I found is that was a little more overwhelming and challenging for folks. I think it's helpful, as busy as our lives get, to do a bunch of smaller assignments and break them out. And that way you're getting feedback as you go. I think that helps learning. So everything that I do, it's designed to try to help you learn as much as you can. I want you to get every penny that you paid out of this class and more. And so I hope that you left excited and energized and ready to take on the challenge rather than overwhelmed. That was my goal yesterday. I want you to know you're supported. I had a couple of questions that came up yesterday, and so I want to take a moment just to answer a couple of questions. The first question that came up had to do with the evidence tables. And the specific question was, do you have to fill in a response to every single one of these questions? And the answer is yes, eventually. And what do I mean by that? So in 3 weeks, you have to have all 36 citations complete, right? We've broken it up into 3 sets of 12 to make it more manageable and to give you a chance to get feedback as you go. When you turn in your initial 12, there is no expectation that you have every single question answered. Just with your first 12 citations, answer those things that you can. And then as you fill it in over time, you'll start to fill in the gaps. By the time you submit all 36 citations, you want to have every single question answered, right? So you want to have a minimum of 1 citation for each question. But that's not until you turn in the third version, which is all 36 citations. The second question that came up is, hey, what if I'm, trying to work ahead and I've got more than 12? Maybe I have, 15 or 18 done already. That's totally fine. I don't care. No harm, no foul. That's great. This is your tool. And we are creating a tool for you to help set you up for success when you write your papers and to teach you a process to use for preparing for your prelim, right? So if you have more than 12 citations done by next week, that's no problem at all. I'm totally fine with that. If at the end you have more than 36, again, totally fine. 36 is what I care about. If you end up with 48, 50, whatever you have, that's great. Ultimately, this is your tool to help you be successful in writing your papers, doing your poster for my class, and then eventually setting you up for prelim. One thing that came up that Elizabeth said yesterday that was so important that I want to reinforce: use this as an opportunity to go deep into the topic area that you want to use for your prelim and for your dissertation. So you're already thinking dissertation now, right? You want to start thinking, like, what is my area that I want my dissertation to be about? Maybe I'm really interested in mammography screenings for African American women to reduce, the incidence of breast cancer. That's great and that's amazing. Start building that research now, right? Start understanding all the nuances of that field. Use this class, use Dr. Burnett's class, use your future classes to help prepare you so that by the time you get to the dissertation, you're an expert. You've got it down and you know it. Another question that came up was, should I do the exact same topic for your class and Dr. Burnett's class, or should I do 2 different topics? And there's 2 strategies here. One approach is to do the same topic in both classes and just do a deep dive all semester on that topic. Totally acceptable, totally fine. My recommendation is to do a different approach. My suggestion would be to do 1 topic in my class and another topic in Dr. Burnett's class. But again, remember, they're related. You've got that 4x4 matrix I talked about, or whatever variation you need to do, right? So if you had the HIV example I gave with African American women, men who have sex with men, condoms, and PrEP uptake, that gave you like 2 populations and 2 topics, or you could have done, like I said, the 1 population with 4 related behaviors, or whatever combination you want. Either way, comes July, you have to turn in 4 topics to Dr. Peskin, which means you need to have 4 literature reviews prepared before then. And so my suggestion is to do 1 in my class, 1 in Dr. Burnett's. That way you've got kind of 2 literature reviews together, and then next spring do another 2. And then by the end of the year, by May, you've kind of got your 4 together. And then in June, you're just tightening it up and getting ready for your prelim, if that makes sense, in terms of like building your body of literature. That would be my strategy and my suggestion. But obviously do whatever works best for you. Okay, those are all the questions I had on evidence table. I hope you find that helpful. So next week, we shift gears, right? And it's exciting. It's an exciting time. So now I want to talk about what to expect in the coming weeks, because the energy and the feel of the class is going to shift, and we're going to slip into a new routine. So I want to prepare you for that. So beginning on Monday, we move into section 2 of the course, right? And this is the main part of our class. It begins in week 3 and it moves through week 12, and that's using theory to understand a health topic. It may move through week 13. I may have a typo there. I'll have to double check the syllabus. But either way, we're moving into the new season. Oh, you know what it is? Next week is week 4. That's a typo, guys. I apologize. That should say week 4 through 13. But starting next week, we move into section 2. And here's what the class is going to look like. So the class is going to follow a typical format. Each week, we are focused on a different theory. The goal, as far as I'm concerned, is not to memorize the theory. The goal is for you to develop the skills to look at a theory, understand it, and be able to apply it to a population of health behavior, and to be able to talk about that using theoretical language and to write about it. And so each week we pull up a different theory because we're practicing that skill, right? We're getting comfortable talking and writing about theory. That's our goal. You can always pull out a book and go back and look at the diagram and read the details if you need to refresh your memory on a particular theory, right? That's what books are for. But the thinking part, that skill, that's what we're learning. So to help with that, what we're going to do each week, we'll begin by looking at the learning objectives and the announcements. Then we're going to review the quiz. Again, the quiz is ungraded. I encourage you to do it. It's going to help check your understanding of what you read and prepare you for the activities that we're going to do forward. After that, we're going to do a review of the theory. Now, let me talk about how I do that. I do something I call the hat game. And the way the hat game works is I'm going to put everyone's name into a, quote, hat. It's going to be just a little tin can probably, but everyone's name is going to be in there. And I'm going to randomly draw out somebody's name. If I call your name, the expectation is that you will teach the theory to the class, and then you will explain to the class how that theory is applicable to your priority population and health behavior. So my recommendation is, as you do the readings each week, be thinking about, how does this theory apply to me? How would I use this theory for my population and my behavior? A little bit of disclaimer on that. This is not a high-stakes presentation. Please do not come to class with a PowerPoint. Don't expect to do a long conversation, right? This is probably about 5 minutes. Basically, what you will do is just I'm going to pull up the image of the theory. You'll briefly explain it to us, and then talk about how it applies to you. And then I'll invite the class to engage you in a Q&A session to ask any questions and go a little deeper into the topic. We'll do that each week. After that, we will discuss the readings. And we'll do that in different ways. Some weeks it'll just be a, hey, what's interesting to you here that you want to bring forward? Other times it'll be more structured. I'll just kind of mix it up just for variety. But we will engage the reading. After that, we're going to take a break. And then there's going to be an applied activity where each week we are thinking about how does that health theory apply to a particular population of behavior. And if you look in the syllabus, you can actually see the topics that we're covering, and you're doing background reading on that particular topic as well. So that's going to be the flow of our class beginning next week in week 4 and going through week 13. Okay, that is what I had for you. I'm really excited to work with you guys this semester. I feel like we're off to a good start, and now the real work begins. So it's going to be a really fun time. If you have any questions, as always, Elizabeth and I are here for you. Have a great week, and I'll see you there.